Thanks so much for joining us for another edition of KFFB's Open Mic program. And we do have Ted Hall. He's with the White River Area Agency on Aging. And Ted, thanks so much for taking time and talking with us.
You bet. Good to be here, Bob.
Well, we've been looking at some of the statistics that's going around. And one thing both of us have talked about, the elderly, the seniors are one of the biggest portions of the population in Arkansas. But one thing, too, we got to look at this coronavirus, the death rate is nearly 80% of those over 65. So it's very concerning. And we keep reminding seniors to stay home. And I know that has been your message with the White River Area Agency on Aging as well.
You bet, Bob. And the big thing is that we want to keep the separation from any older person that be out in the public. So that's why we have encouraged, seniors that we deal with that they need to stay inside. Of course, that's what we do, Bob, is that we take care of seniors and we're in their homes. And, Bob, of course, we have our own protocol before one of our aides goes into a home that they have to, first of all, they've got to be feeling good. They have to take their temperature. And, of course, the washing the hands is a big deal. And of course, they a lot of this stuff they do every day anyway. But we've been fortunate. We're still taking care of seniors. We're out there every day. And we want to make sure that we continue to do that. And then, Bob, something that you're very familiar with is Meals on Wheels, is that in itself helps us stay in contact with seniors and see how they're doing. And we have a big group of folks that get food every day. But there are other groups out there that are working to make sure that seniors are being taken care of. And this is just the time, especially during this virus, that we need to be conscious of seniors and how are they doing. And so that's important. And that's one reason we appreciate you letting us visit with you today.
Well, one thing when we look at the seniors, too, we encourage them to stay home. And because there's a time for the churches and neighbors to step up and
Yes.
help them. And that's one thing they can do. And if they don't, they can contact some authorities that may be able to help them. There's a lot of the stores are doing it, too.
Absolutely. And certainly we're here at 870-612-3000 if somebody has a question about needing some services. We have here in our area, we do have churches and we do have different groups that are taking a real active role in making sure that seniors are getting served, whether it's getting food or just needing to check on them to make sure that they're okay. And that's something we really ought to be doing all the time. But that's the neat thing about being a part of the area agencies on aging. We're in people's homes, whether it be actually helping them, giving baths and cooking for them, or the Meals on Wheels programs, or even our senior centers, because this is an issue not only of food and those kind of things, but it is a mental condition as far as we all need to be talking to each other. It just brings our spirit better when we have somebody that cares and talks to us. And so that isolation that you talk about, Bob, all the time with seniors, it's very, very important. Being lonely is not a fun thing, and not having anybody that you can visit with is a serious issue.
Yeah, that's one thing we've talked about even around the holidays when they look at their parents. And these are some things that can bring, I guess, a little more closeness or more aware of their elderly parents or grandparents. And this is something that they may want to do a health check as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's, again, why we're trying to get the word out. And even the Department of Human Services Director Gillespie, and then under her is Jay Hill, who is under the Division of Aging. They are making sure that they're making phone calls to the seniors. And, of course, that comes from the governor. Governor Hudson has done a good job in trying to make sure that he's covering all the bases as we go through this virus. And this is just another thing that we're all working together to make sure that we are getting the word out to our seniors and those in need. And also, Bob, we have to mention other people that fall in through the cracks. And so whether it be seniors or whoever, we just need to be checking on people because, it's the right thing to do.
One thing, too, is got to be some positive spin here is Arkansas with the social distancing, washing of hands, and the cleanliness that we're seeing. And most people trying to stay home or not go out as much as they were. Restaurants, of course, is only curbside. We really have seen it bend that curve. We did a huge flattening, and that is because our Kansans stepped up and did what was right.
Absolutely. And if you go into a store, you'll see you'll see people with gloves on and masks on, and they're trying to stay away from each other. And of course, you're always going to have some that are not going to do that. But overall, I think that's one reason that to lose anybody during this type of virus is awful. But I think the way the attitude of the Arkansans is to stay away from each other and try to keep away from each other has been a real positive thing.
All right, what's the number that they need to call if they need some help with seniors? If you're a senior, if you've got a elderly parent or grandparent, how can they get in hold with the White River Agency?
Really, you can call our 870-612-3000. That is our corporate office here. And of course, Bob, we serve 10 counties, as you know, and so we can get a hold of somebody if somebody had a question. We also have a 1-800-382-3205. That's 1-800-382-3205. Of course, I tell you this all the time. I use the 870-612-3000 because that comes where I am. And when they call here, I get it. They know when they get a call from somebody that we're going to make sure we get the word out to where it needs to go. So that's just kind of what we do. And, we're about senior care. We're about the voice of the seniors. And, again, we've been working every day, but at the same time, we're taking precautions to make sure that we're taking care of each other here also.
Okay, and then also the stimulus checks. We just need to make a quick mention of that. Stimulus checks, they don't have to give their Social Security number to anyone. They don't have to give any personal data to someone knocks on your door, calls you on the phone, because it's automatic.
Absolutely. That's all being controlled, and they should never give that out over the phone or anything like that, because there are folks out there that's trying to make a buck illegally.
All right. Well, Ted, thank you so much for updating us on Seniors for Arkansas.
Thank you, Bob.